I woke up, tangled in a bush. It was night. I must have been unconscious for some time. Belle? There was no answer. I fidgeted slightly, trying to work out if I was dead or not. Fortunately, I wasn't. With a lot of effort, I managed to pull myself up onto my feet. Thankful the bush had cushioned me when I was thrown from the bufloat. The bufloat? Bufloat. The float was a few meters away, crumpled against a tree. It didn't look like a nasty crash. Me and Belle must have both leaped from the side doors at the last minute. So, if we both made it out of the float, where was Belle? I look around frantically, barely able to see into the nighttime gloom. My phone had survived no worse, for its already considerable wear, and I turned on its light, frantically shaking it up to keep it from flickering out. Belle? Again, there was no answer. Belle was gone. I realized she must have gone to try and get help. In the distance, I saw the cliff we had plummeted off of. It wasn't too tall, but it was far too steep to climb back up. There was no obvious way back to the road. I began to panic. I didn't want to be lost alone out here at night. Not after all the stories I'd read about the woods. Before I could get too worked up, I noticed a trail of hoof prints leading away from the float. I let out a sigh of relief. They led deeper into the woods and onto a hiking trail not far from me. Maybe Belle had followed the trail and found help? She left without me? Didn't she look for me? Or did she just leave me in the bush to die? I started walking down the path. I had a slight limp. I was worried something was broken, but it turned out my leg had gone to sleep. Oh, trust me, you'd know if your leg was broken. I must have been led on it in the bush. I don't know how long I followed the path through the dark woods. Every sound put me on edge. Each crack of a branch under my foot, a rustle of leaves as I brushed past a tree, or a whisper of the wind made me fear the worst. That I was being stalked. Months of reading spooky stories were coming back to haunt me. I started to curse my imagination, but then I realized it wasn't me stepping on branches or brushing past trees. It wasn't the wind whispering through the woods. It was something else. I stopped. A second later, lagging behind my movement, a snap. I was being followed. I spun round in fear. Through the trees, silhouetted in moonlight, was a furry shape. The furlock. I ran and so did it. Or rather, it glided through the woods as if flying, faster than I could hope to move. I had read stories of the furlock, a terrible ancient beast that haunted the woods, gnashing teeth and ripping claws and horribly fast, agile feet. I was doomed. I had to keep running. Perhaps I could lose it in the dark. Then, almost immediately, my foot caught on something. My other foot, I think. I tumbled onto the floor, my stomach turning as I knew the furlock would soon be upon me. I landed face down and pulled my hands over my head, curling up into the fetal position. If I was to perish, I wished to do it without looking upon the furlock's terrible face. Nothing happened. No terrible snarl, followed by an onslaught of mingled claws and crooked fangs. I was about to look up when I felt a pair of small paws shuffle through my bag. I almost screamed, but managed to stay quiet. Playing dead seemed to come naturally to me. They grabbed something and sniffed it curiously. The furlock was stealing my cheese rope snacks, presumably to eat as a side while it devoured me for lunch. My attacker scurried off into the woods. After a few moments, I climbed up. Everything else was in my bag. I survived. I thanked my luck and got my bearings. Belle couldn't be that far away. I followed the path for a while longer, and then I saw her. I was relieved to no longer be alone, but something was wrong. Fog? Belle was stood in front of a small pond. The pond was lit, but not by moonlight, starlight, or torchlight. Despite its ominous black water, I was strangely drawn to it. The feeling of unease welled up inside of me. My mind was pulled back to the black water of that terrible lake. I could tell, deep in my mind, that the pond was bottomless. But Belle? She jumped and turned to me, looking confused. Oh, hi there, Trixie. She glanced around, looking increasingly disoriented. Oh my gosh, I have hiccups. Okay, I know there was editing that just cut out the last 10 minutes, but I suddenly got hiccups. I just had 16 minutes straight of hiccups. I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this, but it's what I've received. It's time to continue reading. Okay. Say, Trixie, hon, you don't happen to know where we are, do you? We crashed in the woods, remember? You wandered off? Are you okay? Did you hit your head or something? Belle stared at me blankly for a moment while her brain ticked over the memories of the day. Well, I'll be. That's right. I was following you along the hiking trail, remember? And I ended up here. She turned to the pool of inky black water and shivered. What did she mean she followed me? Well, darn. Heck knows what I was thinking staying here so long. It's pretty nasty, huh? I could tell she was still confused. She almost sounded afraid. I'd never seen her like this before. Excuse me? The corpse god? A corpse god? I have to know. I have to know what the corpse god is. You guys know I have to find out. So I have saved, and I'm going to find out, because I feel like this is going to end up in our demise. But let's meet him. Oh! Why is this so loud? Okay. Hey, Trix, what are you doing? I turned to face Belle, who had somehow gotten behind me. Huh? I realized I was stood ankle deep in the water. I hadn't even realized I'd been walking. Oh, jeez, what? You. I scurried back onto dry land, hoping I wouldn't get too many bloodborne diseases from the stagnant water. Hey, hun, how do we get on the path? This pond's a little nasty. I nodded, still a little shaken. We both stumbled back onto the path. Belle, earlier you said you followed me there? Did I say that? Ah, jeez, Trix. My memory's kind of fuzzy right now. I suppose I might have imagined it. I mean, I think I hit my head in the crash. I shivered. I hope it was Belle's imagination, but earlier today I took a short break from writing this to do some research. Apparently, there is no pond on the trail. The woods, that pond, the lake. This county is cursed. But that isn't relevant to this account, sorry. At the time, I decided not to bring it back up. The last thing we needed walking through that dark forest was spooky thoughts. I decided not to mention my encounter with maybe the furlock to Belle. The last thing we needed was paranoia fuel on our long walk through the dark. Sorry this has been a bit of a crappy day out, Trix. Oh, I mean, it was fun up until the crash. Which wasn't really your fault. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed some of it. I wanted today to be fun, though. I've been feeling a little lonely recently. Yeah, I noticed. What? Despite my daily resolve? It wasn't that hard to notice you were feeling weird about company. Oh, heck. It's just, all my friends seem to be avoiding me. I mean, I know they aren't. Everyone's just real busy recently, or has other things on the mind. Brains are kind of, mean, though, right? I sometimes worry everyone secretly hates me. That is called imposter syndrome, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think anyone hates you, Belle. I mean, geez, everyone seems to really like you. LaRose, Greg, Heidi, me. No, shucks, I know Trixie. Always hard to believe it, though. I guess I just have some unresolved emotional issues from pre-transition. Want to talk? I guess she doesn't want to talk about it. Nope. Oh, fair enough. I've only known you a few days. Maybe that was a little personal. It's pretty understandable that Belle wouldn't tell me all about their darkest feelings as soon as they met me. Life isn't some soppy visual novel. Wink wonk. Though, if it were, I'd probably get a lot more monsters kissing me. Please tell me that is not a nod to what's going to happen. Sorry. Anyway, once I get some uni drama finished and my coursework, I guess I can come hang out with you more. Just at the Attic Mouse, no need to cart me all over the county. Though if you want to take me to Cyber Dracolias from Mars World... Sure thing, Trixie. I look forward to it. We eventually found ourselves emerging from the woods into a car park. Blue Hill Woods Country Park, a sign read. We'd made it out to civilization. We're alive. Don't sound so surprised, hon. Come on, I might be able to get us some signal here. I can phone us a lift and we can go to the hospital. Make sure we aren't about to die from latent crash injuries, you know. It was already so late, I couldn't waste time in a hospital. I knew I was fine, or at least as fine as I normally am. Daffodil Lane wasn't too far from here. I could see it on the local area map next to the trail's start. I had to get there now, before Nikita did anything. For all I knew, I was already too late. Belle, I need to go. There's stuff I need to help my friend. Are you sure you're okay, Trixie? Don't want to go to the hospital with me? I'm fine, really. It's just some uni drama that I need to deal with. The stuff that's been bothering me the last few days. An argument over a book doesn't sound quite important enough to warrant skipping a hospital trip after crashing down a cliff in a milk float. Whatever, I trust you. Okay, Trixie. If you're sure you're fine and it's really as important as you say, you go do your stuff, yeah? Just message me tomorrow, alright? To let me know you're not, dead. There was a decent chance I would be, but I decided to keep that to myself. See ya, Belle. Thanks for hanging out all week. Bye-bye, hun. I'll see you tomorrow. I turned and ran as fast as my weak little legs could carry me. I really hoped I would see Belle again. I walked down Daffodil Lane towards the abandoned cottage. It must have been about 1 or 2 in the morning. I feared I was too late, but there didn't seem to be any sign that Nikita had been successful. I walked past Parsnip's cottage. It was quiet. He was probably tucked up in bed asleep, or whatever he does at night. Of course, I knew his secret. Parsnip was corrupted, a puppet of the Yellow King. I knew that if I could stop Nikita, destroy that evil play, and the terrible yellow signs he had been forcing that rabbit to create, Parsnip would be free from his enslavement. I could save him. The abandoned cottage seemed unchanged. Could it be that Nikita hadn't come? My hopes were shattered when I stepped inside. I could hear murmuring from the basement. Nikita was here. Surrounded by candles, she stood upon the yellow sign. She faced away from me, chanting to herself. I think she was trying to repeat some kind of incantation, but she kept tripping up on her words and losing her place. I just realized that I haven't had the music on this entire time.
Gah!
I think she was trying to repeat some kind of incantation, but she kept tripping up on her words and losing her place. A small crystal sat in the center of the yellow sign, shimmering faintly in the candlelight. I had to talk her out of this madness. I knew I was too weak to fight her after the night's events so far, and I'm pretty sure Nikita is more violent than she looks. Nikita. Oh, Trixie! I'm surprised you dared to show your furry little face here. I assumed you'd be in your room drawing bat hentai or something. I have to say, I'm impressed. I almost admire your dedication to annoying me. But you're too late. The ritual is in progress. I walked across the cloud waves to my destiny. Right now you're just kind of stood there. Okay, but soon I shall walk across the cloud waves to my destiny. It's not like you're going to stop me. By all means, stay and watch my ascension. Or fuck off, I don't care. I need to wait a little longer is all. Was Nikita wrong? She seemed confused somehow. Her ritual didn't seem to be going to plan. The candles had almost melted to their bases. How long had she been here? Nikita, stop. The ritual isn't working. You won't get through your gate. How about you come back to uni with me and we can talk this out? No! I will not forfeit my birthright because of your little lies. I will succeed. It's just taking a little longer than it should. I need to prove to the king. I need to show him my faith has not faltered. The one who sits on the broken throne cannot be weak. They cannot be unsure. Maybe I made a mistake. The candle placement must be wrong, or maybe my pronunciation is off. She started flicking through her notepad, desperation building on her face. I was starting to doubt Nikita. I had expected her to summon up a portal of shimmering cloud and step through to her destiny. Instead, she just seemed utterly broken. Deranged. Maybe you're wrong. About the ritual, about the throne, about that play. Trixie, shut up. I know what's wrong. The one external variable. It's you! This is a test. I must prove myself. My loyalty. Well, I will not break. I swear to you, my king, from upon the broken throne, I shall call forth the dread fleet, the ashen horrors of the Twilight Corridor, and the Iron Watchmen. I shall set them on, Trixie, and crush her. And now, my king, will you bring me the White Gate? She was serious. The malevolence in her voice was enough to kill any doubt I had that these were not the words of a madwoman. Nikita had to be stopped. This ritual could not be complete. I remembered the things I'd brought with me. They might be the only way to end this without a fight, which I was pretty sure I'd lose. Or with Nikita winning, I'm pretty sure would end with me dead. Sorry, Nikita, but it's too late. I know you haven't been chosen. I tried to sound at least somewhat sure of myself. Nikita looked pissed. That's real cute, Trixie. You finally learned to stand up for yourself. But surely you realize the smart move was to know your place and be my underling. I think I'm okay without that, actually. I was gifted with something you were not. I held the yellow sign high above my head. Nikita smirked. Really, Trixie? The yellow sign? Look around you. She lifted her arms and spun on the spot. The world is covered with the sign. The king is everywhere. He owns us. She was right. He was everywhere, but I didn't let that dissuade me. And he chose me. And yet, his servant gave me this, before you had even read his play. You were never graced with his sign. You just found those left for others. Nikita looked almost taken aback. He chose me, Nikita. No, he cursed you with it. Maybe she was right. I certainly wasn't happy to have received the yellow sign. But I could see Nikita was cracking. Now shut up and tremble in your pathetic little boots as I complete my ritual. Nikita threw her arms into the air. Nothing happened. Gah! I might know why your portal isn't opening. I pulled Tabby's psycho crystal from my bag. It shimmered with ancient magic. Nikita's crystal was nullified. What? Another crystal? Is this a trick? What are you playing at, Smith? 2 psycho crystals in close proximity. Well, they neutralize each other, right? You didn't know that? No, this is a trick. You're trying to trick me, Trixie. I won't fall for your Trixie tricks. I won't fall for your games. She stopped abruptly. She knew I was telling the truth. I guess I have an honest face. No. How did you... Oh? You obviously didn't read Reaching New Worlds very carefully. I expected better of you, Nikita. I smirked, a sight which I was worried would make Nikita attack me right then and there. Her 2 least favorite things, being wrong and me. Fuck! Nikita stomped her foot onto one of the candles, crushing it. She was getting dangerously angry. So, Miss Knight is in league with you too? How am I surprised? She will get what's coming to her. This is my destiny, Trixie. It was foretold! She lifted the king in yellow above her head dramatically. Your crystal is powerless against him. He chose me, Trixie, above everyone else. Crystal or not, the gate will open, and you will pay for your treachery. I'm sorry, Nikita, but I'm not sure the king has chosen you. I pulled the mask out of my bag and held it aloft for Nikita to see. You've been betrayed, Nikita. The king chose me. The mask had come to me indirectly, but that didn't make any of it less of my right, even if I didn't want it. Nikita laughed at me. She didn't seem convinced. Then, a brief flutter in her expression as her eyes focused on the grim visage. In that moment, I knew she recognized the mask. Oh, great king, this can't be. Smith, how did you... Her face broke into a blend of fear and betrayal. I was lied to. She fell to her knees, tears streaming between her fingers. And are you forgetting, Nikita? It was me who was given the play. You had to beg me to give it to you. Trixie, you were the one he chose? None of his whispers were true. He played me like an instrument. Like Carcosa, I have been shamed, my vanity taken and crushed. Trixie, She broke down into tears. Despite everything, I pitied her. Finish the ritual. Take your place atop the broken throne. But show me mercy, I beg of you. I'm not taking the throne, Nikita. I don't want it. And I think, deep down, neither do you. Let's just go back and get some rest. We can pretend this never happened. Obviously, that wouldn't happen, but I wanted to keep her calm. It looked like this terrible week was finally coming to a close. But She pointed meekly at the mask. I looked down at it. Its ruby eyes seemed to glow, a promise of decadence and power beyond the white gate. Inlaid symbols speaking unknowing secrets into my mind. For a moment, I considered that maybe this truly was my destiny. Was this mask always meant to fall into my hands? I shook my head. That wasn't a path I was willing to take. I wanted nothing to do with Carcosa and the false promises of the King in Yellow. We can destroy it. The play, too. It's all evil, Nikita. Just look at what it's done to us. Well, let's get back to uni, okay? Uni. Yes. Okay, Trixie. I slept well that night. Wow, that's a lot of writing everywhere. Why is there writing everywhere? What is... on the bed, on the wall, on the floor, drawers, what? The maps? Oh boy. Me and Nikita intended to burn the King of Yellow as soon as I finished writing the statement. When I suggested torching the play, I was worried she might snap back into her mania and try to stop me. But she had nothing to say. It was like being outsmarted had totally crushed any desire Nikita had to keep up her mad charade. I'm pretty sure she'll be back to her old self once the election comes along, for better or worse. Still, she seems to have developed some small amount of modesty, and I swear I can see a hint of respect for me in her eyes. Which I'm not entirely sure I like. It's uncanny. I've managed to keep Nikita distracted with her election work. I told her not to write my report. I wanted to do it myself. Hence why I'd appreciate some more time to finish it. I've been swatting off worried messages from Belle for the last 2 days. I think she knows something is up, but as soon as I submit this form, I'm going to meet up with her. I shall not speak to her of the King in Yellow. That's a secret between me, Nikita, and you. I need to talk to her about that night in the woods. It's strange, when I slept that night after burning the play, I expected dreams of the rotten spire and the broken throne. I expected to be tormented by the King in Yellow. But all I dreamt of was black, motionless water. Despite everything, I have to admit, there's still a temptation to open it. To finish reading The King in Yellow. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. That was spicy. That was one heck of a story. But the writing? It's not done, never mind. Great, I'm done. I just need to take this down to the office and I can start work. Trixie, show me your statement immediately. I just realized I'm relying on you not to get me expelled with whatever you wrote on this thing. Jeez, Nikita, how did you get in here? The door, Trixie. Wait, what is this? Why are your walls covered in writing? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. Excuse me, but what the fuck? Whatever, Trixie. Either you've lost the plot, or this is one of those maymays you like that I just don't get. Also, the word limit on that form is like 300. This? Look, Trixie, I respect that you actually put some effort into something for once in your life, but as well as being written on the walls, this is way too long. What a waste of time. You can clean it up and I'll write you a less shit statement. One that will actually get read and not get us arrested in the process. Because no way have you held back from talking shit about me. I'll just say you had trouble working this week because your albinism made you working in the heat wave difficult. There, saved you 50,000 words. Oh, okay, Nikita. Well, time to get to work. Just as soon as I finish reading all the new Cyberjack Kuya reboot theories online. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, well. I guess now we get to go back and, see the things that we didn't get to see. Nice.